Frank Zappa was a very polarizing man. Some people love him, some people hate him, but there's one thing that cannot be denied. The guy spoke his mind. The guy was honest with himself, both behind the guitar and as well as behind the camera. For some interviews, when people would ask him tough questions, he was not known to shy away from them. And in today's video, I've compiled a few short clips from some of those interviews, things that I really love about Frank. I'm going to be breaking them down after each little segment. All right, with the introductions out of the way here, we're going to dive right into our first clip that we'll be analyzing a bit afterwards. Frank was always well known for putting on a memorable live show, and I feel in this next upcoming segment, he gives a really good perspective as to why that was the case.
So every night then is spontaneous for you, huh?
Absolutely.
It keeps it fun?
Well, think of it the other way. You know, what if you had to play exactly the same notes every night? Isn't that like punching a clock?
Mm-hmm.
Well, who needs that crap?
Again, I mean, you know, I'll make a statement that I made to one of your earlier statements. It's so refreshing to hear somebody talk like that.
Well, most people won't take that chance, because I'll take the chance to go out there and make a mistake. I will take that chance for the privilege of doing something unique, one time only, live in front of an audience, because that's one of the reasons why the audience has come to see the concerts over and over again for the last 20 years, because they know that the concert, even though you may be playing songs off the record, is a unique situation. It's only going to happen that one time. There are going to be jokes happening on stage that relate to that particular audience, and there are going to be solos played during that show that will never happen again. Have never happened before, will never happen again. So it's something special just for the people who bought the tickets to that show. And it's probably one of the reasons why the bootlegs of these concerts have done so well over the last couple of decades. There's hundreds of the things out, and that must be one of the reasons why people buy them, although you shouldn't buy them.
Now that clip really resonates with me because I feel the exact same way about when I perform, and it's also what I prefer when I watch people play live. I recently saw Greg Koch and it was the same thing. I knew the songs, but I could tell he was kind of riffing at certain points and really going for it. I love that, and it reminds me of a story that was recently in the news where a more modern band ended up canceling a show they were headlining because their backing tracks and their laptop was stolen from them, and they just didn't play for their people. So I can only imagine Frank rolling in his grave or rolling his eyes if he had heard of something like that happening in his day. But before you can go out and perform, you have to write the songs first. In this next clip, Frank gives a little bit of insight into just how well educated he was as far as the composition of songs and music in general.
You know how rock and roll is constructed? You get a guy with a guitar, see, and he knows, if he's starting, he knows 1, 2, or maybe 3 chords. If he's been playing for a few years, he knows 10, 20, maybe 30 chords. The chords themselves are not interesting because, you know, they're standard positions that you put your hand in on the guitar. See, so when songs are made up out of standard things like that, they will tend to sound repetitive, you know, they'll always be the same. So if you're writing for a group of instruments and each person in that group gets to play one note of a chord, that gives you the chance to make the chord any density that you like. You know, it can be like this, it can be like that, it can be spread out like that. And you can only do that by working with many instruments and different tone colors. And so that's what I've come to appreciate, especially in the writing of Varese, is the tone colors and the voicings of the chords.
Now, Frank did an excellent job there of explaining it in a way that even somebody who's not even a musician would be able to understand. He really got it, and he knew the value of using every instrument together to be able to create a sum of all of its parts. It's not just about the guitar player, the singer, the bassist, the drummer, the piano player, whatever, whoever is in that band. It's about when you're composing these songs, putting each piece together to work in harmony so that the big parts sound even bigger, and sometimes when you want to tone things back, doing so in the reverse manner. really, really clever guy. And the final clip that we're going to be going over today is about censorship. I had to edit this clip down into 2 separate parts because in the middle of them, it got really political, which was to be expected. This did air on CNN, I believe, on the show called Crossfire many, many years ago. But to me, it's an essential clip, and it's something that I want to dive more into after we watch it.
Mr. Zappa, let me see if I can get your position straight. Are you saying that there is no filth, no pornography, no obscenity that should not be permitted to be sold and distributed freely in this country in the form of music videos and rock music?
I don't think that music qualifies as pornography. And especially since this whole business started with words. We're talking about words here.
All right.
All the complaints were about words.
All right, take the pornography out there. Is there no filth, no obscenity that you think would qualify to be suppressed?
We're talking about words, and I don't believe that there is any word that needs to be suppressed. There's no scientific or realistic reason why you should keep people from hearing certain words.
Yeah, but Mr. Zappa, let me just follow that up.
There are certain words you use that are to describe an act of fornication which are brutal.
So?
Well,
how about putting that on the radio? That's not permitted to be put on the radio. Do you think it should be?
Yes.
You think it should be on the radio?
Absolutely.
And on television?
Absolutely.
And
in politics.
I don't think I understand
because
that.
It's already in politics. I think that if you use the so-called strong words, you get your point across faster, and you can save a lot of beating around the bush.
Well,
why are people afraid of words?
So I understand your position on government censorship, but just you're a musician, you're a producer, you're a big man in show business. Do you think it is a good idea? Let's not say that the government's going to get in this all. Just as a matter of taste, of artistic preference, do you think it's a good idea to write lyrics that says incest is good for you? Does that make any sense?
Well, it might make sense to Prince. That's his business, because that's mainly the song that they're talking about.
But don't you have an opinion on it?
My opinion is he's got a right to sing it, he's got a right to say it, and I got a right to not
Where does
buy
that
it.
right come from?
Not only do I believe censorship is wrong, I actually believe that it does more harm than good for the people who want to do the censoring, because it just entices more people to want to look into whatever it is that's being censored. That doesn't matter if it's music, it doesn't matter if it's an idea in a social term, anything like that. Once you say, no, you can't do this, and Big Brother steps in, I mean, it's inviting that kind of reaction. But really, his answer to it is absolute perfection, and it's something that I feel is lost in this day and age, and I wish we could get it back. He said Prince has the ability to be able to say, write, make whatever he wants with music. He has the ability to not buy it. That's it. Live and let live. Let other people say what they want with their art, or in general, if they have an idea. Again, one of the best ways to shoot down an idea, or to show that an idea is really a poor idea, let the person say it and then come up with a counter argument. Don't just resort to this, nope, we're just not going to let them say that, or nope, this idea is dumb. Come at it like an adult. Actually approach things in a debate in a respectful manner, and the best idea, more often than not, hopefully, is the one that's going to be the one people will agree with and hopefully go along with. So now I'd like to hear from you. In the comments down below, let me know what you think about Frank Zappa. And also, if you'd like to see me do this with other musicians, I really enjoy doing this. This is something that I want to do for quite some time, but with YouTube and copyright, I'm not so sure how this is going to work out. It really is, an experiment for me, but if all goes well and the channel isn't completely banned, I'm more than open to doing this again in the future. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.